Hello everyone, Star Baby Homestead here. You've heard me talk about my love of gardening and how much I can't wait to get home and get out here. You've heard about me talk about growing all of the crops and organically feeding my family these wonderful fruits of our labor. Well, the one thing I haven't really talked about, even though if you checked out my video on how hard gardening is, one of those things stand out more than others that I really didn't mention, and that is gardening with allergies. Now, I don't know if you're like me. I have seasonal allergies. So that means at any given time, it could be grass, it could be mold, it could be trees, it could be a lot of pollution in the air. Luckily, I don't suffer a lot. Being out here in the country, the air is fresh and clean, so there's not a lot of pollution out here. I have animals, but I've always had animals and I'm not really allergic to them. It's usually just maybe some random type of pollen, which thankfully, because of the weather apps that we have nowadays, we can kind of look to see what may set off those who may be a little bit more sensitive. Well, if you love to garden, it's more than just dealing with seasonal allergies. It's going to be some of the very fruits that you grow, that you love to grow, which are going to make your life absolutely miserable. Let's start with culprit number one, cucumbers. If you've ever brushed up against a cucumber and you look at these vines here, do you see these little spines that are on here? These little spines, when they rub up against the skin, cause itching and possibly a rash. So, as much as we love cucumbers in the summer, cucumbers are a big issue when you're trying to harvest them. Some of the cucumbers themselves have actual spines on them. So when you pick them, you'll get stuck. So it's best to wear, unless you have a smooth variety, it's best to wear gloves when you're harvesting these. And you're like, wow, why'd something so simple and delicious be so hard to get to? But cucumber, culprit number one, anything in the cucurbit family, actually, that also includes watermelon. Now, I don't have a lot of problems and itching that come from watermelon, but as you can see, there's some spines along here. And those spines, though they're kind of soft and fuzzy, they can cause an allergic reaction. So again, anything kind of in the melons, cucumbers, everything in the cucurbic family can cause you to have some itching and rashes. Culprit number two, tomatoes. We love tomatoes, don't we? We love this delicious summer and spring fall treat. One of the harbingers of warm weather, delicious tomato salad. But tomatoes also, they have spines on them. If you look at these little prickly spines, that is enough to irritate you and cause an allergic reaction. So, tomatoes are something else to look out for. Now, some of these spines aren't enough to deter any sort of other pests. Birds, if you've had your tomatoes pecked to death, you know they don't deter birds, they don't deter squirrels or deer or any other such thing. So, honestly, I'm like, why? Why are they even on here? I guess so that, you just can't enjoy gardening because you're going to be itching after you harvest your tomatoes. I wanted to show you guys just a squash plant. This is kind of like the end of the season, and this squash is obviously it's on its last leg. But these kind of fall into the same sort of vein of just cucumbers and melons, and just look at all these spines. Even the leaves are enough. The leaves are enough to make you itch. So when you're harvesting, sometimes these plants get out of control and just trying to dig around in them. If you don't have on the right kind of gear, you're just setting yourself up for just a night of just itching and just torture. This is a big one, okra. Now, they have some that, you know, Clemson spineless and all of this. I don't know what the spine has to do with anything, but I'm thinking, well, maybe it would make, you know, the okra easier to harvest and less itchy. But no, they're not. They're not less itchy. If you rub up against okra, the leaves, the stems, the actual okra themselves are covered in this soft hair-like type of skin that they have, and it can just cause, again, rash and itching. Okra is a big time. I don't know how some people, I've seen some farmers and some people gardening and homesteading, and they're just walking around in okra. They have short sleeves on. I mean, I think for some people, it's just a matter of whether or not, you know, you're prone to it. Not everyone gets rashes from gardening. I am not one of those people. I get rashes from anything, but especially when rubbing up against okra. So it's not just the plants, okay? So if you haven't noticed, ants ants are attracted to tomatoes. They're attracted to cucumbers. They're attracted to anything that's got dew or anything that's sweet. I grow grapes. I grow peaches. We grow all kinds of fruit. And what happens? It attracts wasps and ants and all kinds of biting bugs. So when the plants themselves are not causing you to just break out from random rashes, you have to deal with bug bites. When I get bitten by one tiny little ant, it swells up to twice, 3 times the size of the bite. I'm not one of those people who can just get bitten by a mosquito and have a tiny little bump that's mildly annoying. I get these huge welts and swellings. Like, my husband said he's never seen anything like it. Well, my grandmother, rest her, when she would get bitten by mosquitoes, it was the same reaction. And she would always show me, look at this. Isn't this crazy how I react to just random bug bites? And don't let me get started. I've been stung a couple times by wasp and once by a bee. Luckily, I don't have any sort of issues where it'll send me to the hospital, but it's not fun. And I do swell at the site and it gets feverish and hot. So if you love gardening, well, what do? You know, because obviously I'm still out here doing it and I've been doing it for years. Well, first of all, if you want to check out my short on how to cover up, that's one big thing. You want breathable pants. You want long sleeves. That is also breathable. You want a good hat and you want something to kind of cover up your forehead, keep sweat and all of that out of your face. Secondly, you want to make sure that you have gloves because you're going to be handling a lot of times the stuff that I handle isn't really the problem. It may be the bug bites that come from the things that I am handling. So when you have gloves on, that keeps you from not only getting stung and bitten, but it keeps any sort of allergens from any random vegetable that you may not even know that you're allergic to. Also, if you know it's going to be one of those days, like hopefully you've checked the weather app and you know what you're getting yourself into when you're going to go garden, then you should, you know, have a mask. If it's going to be like a high pollen day, put a mask on. If it's too hot, then you know what, stay inside. Don't even bother with that. We're not masking up outside and gardening. That seems like the way you pass out. I suggest going outside, maybe taking a non-drowsy allergy pill before you get ready to garden. That will help your body from producing all the histamine from all of the allergens that are just floating around outside. Plus, if you get hit by anything like a bug or you've been messing with like tomatoes or whatever, it'll keep you from having a reaction. Another thing I would recommend is having calamine lotion, some hydrocortisone cream, and some anti-itch medication so you can immediately put those on any kind of bug bites. And really, my top top suggestion is when you come inside, don't come inside from gardening and start tracking stuff all through your house. We have a no shoes policy in my house. When you walk inside, those shoes are dropped at the door. Then I immediately, we have a laundry room that is not that far, you know, kind of off on the other side of the house. We go into that laundry room and strip. Just put you a robe or something in there so you're not shocking anybody. But go in, take off those clothes, and then go and get in the shower. Because everything that you're bringing in, all those allergens, you're just tracking them in all over the house. You're sitting on your couch. God forbid you get in your bed or lay in your bed. I'm not judging. I'm just saying maybe you shouldn't be doing that. So strip off all of these clothes that have sweat, dirt, and allergens all over you. And that way, it'll cut down on those reactions that you are having when you come from gardening. Go get in the shower, wash your face. I typically, when I'm gardening, I just have it out because I'm doing this video, but I don't garden with my hair out. I keep my hair in a bonnet or some sort of scarf because guess what? Pollen, dust particles, weird lint, even bugs such as ticks can get in your hair and you can carry them into the house. So just be mindful, and that way you can still enjoy gardening while you're dealing with all of these allergies that can come from spring, summer, fall, and what other sort of issues that you could be having just related to having issues with gardening. Don't let seasonal allergies, pollen, pests, weeds, bugs keep you from enjoying the wonders of gardening. There's nothing that's more rewarding than growing your own food, being out in the sun and enjoying the fresh, clean air and nourishing your body from the fruits that you have grown. All it takes is some preparation and knowing how to protect yourself so you can have a wonderful garden season. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up to this channel if you've enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more information on tips for gardening and our homestead journey. Be well, be blessed, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.